Hello, welcome to Aspire to Soar. My name's Kerry, and today I'm joined by Betty from Healing Light Energy, and we are going to talk all about our energy system, how our energetic system can affect us both physically and mentally, and do we really have the ability to heal ourselves? So welcome to the channel, Betty. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank you for organising it.
That's okay. Before we get started, please can you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are?
Yeah, Betty Cahill is my name, and my business name then is Healing Light Energy. So it's, I suppose, the light, the source energy that we're using to bring that in and help people to heal, you know, using the light, the actual divine energy. So it's yeah, so I began, I suppose, just over 10 years ago now on this journey, and it's fascinating. I just keep training in different modalities. Then started off, I suppose, with bioenergy. I just was drawn to it back in 2009. Kept on seeing articles about bioenergy and about the body being able to heal itself. And I just was fascinated, so decided to go for a few sessions of bioenergy, then trained in it. And after that, it just took off. I just trained in something different nearly every year since then. So wow. It's very, very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting as well, isn't it? How these things come to you. I was the same with EFT. I'd never heard of it, and then all of a sudden it's everywhere you turn, and it's almost like it's shouting that you need to look at it and you need to do something about it, and it follows you until you do something about it. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it was. It was just
it's fascinating. So with the biohealing and the energy work that you do, how would you describe energy work as a whole?
Well, the life energy, I suppose, really it runs, you know, through and around the body, and so it is, I suppose, it's like the oil in the car, really. This energy needs to be flowing freely around the body, and if it's not, if it gets stagnant for some reason through an accident, grief, shock, or trauma, anything can actually freeze the energy and it should really be, you know, free flowing. So if it's not, then that will actually cause a problem in the body. So I suppose energy, the life energy, if you rub your hands together very quickly and then pull them apart, you can feel a kind of a pull, magnetic pull.
Yeah.
And that's really what the life energy is. It's called chi in China. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And prana in India. So all the different names for it, and then bio, it's like the biological energy, really, I suppose, that's flowing through the body.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of keeping that free flowing in the energy pathways that are, you know, the meridians that are flowing, that are around the body, bringing the energy to the various organs and bringing energy and bringing vitality and nourishment to the organs. So therefore, if it gets stuck at any stage, if there's some blockage, that will then lead on to some physical ailment, you know, physical illness in the body or whatever. Like it's I suppose disease is dis-ease. So if the body is not at ease, you know, it's
it's a tricky concept, isn't it? I think for people to understand as well, when you've been brought up in a Western medical system like we have, where you get sick and we throw some drugs at it and that masks the symptoms, and you continue down that road, then you just keep masking more and more symptoms that come from taking all the different medicines, and you never actually deal with the problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a hard one for people to understand, I think, when they've been indoctrinated into that system, to move on to more of an energetic way of looking at it. It's different.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Because the body has the innate ability to heal itself.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of way. So I suppose really that we are I suppose, moving blobs of energy. I would look at the human body as we're moving around, and because the body is made up of like 70 to 100 trillion cells.
Yeah.
So really, they're the building blocks of the body. So like a trillion, that's, you know, a million. So you think about it,
So,
they're all stacked on top of each other in different, you know, like got kidney cells, skin cells, liver cells, brain
yeah.
cells, and all that. So but it's all that together. We are just really a moving blob of energy, because the cells, I suppose, the body is made up of the 9 systems, you know, all the different systems in the body, which break down into the organs, and then the organs contain tissue, and the tissue contains cells. So you're back down to the building blocks, really. And if you look at a cell then under a microscope, you see like the atoms and subatomic molecules and all the little bits and pieces. So it basically comes right down to energy at the end. So if you keep the energy right, and that's free flowing, then you're going to have healthy cells. So therefore you have healthy kidneys, healthy organs, you know, it builds back up again then to a holistic view of the body, as you were saying, you know, rather than, you know, going to the doctor for a particular ailment. It can be something else that is throwing an organ off, you know.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And I find it fascinating as well how the cells pick up on energy as well. You know, I was reading somewhere that there was a man who said that he had a problem with his pancreas, and he was really, really cross with his pancreas. And he told it he hated it, and he was really upset with it. And then he happened to go along and see a clairvoyant who knew nothing about him, and she said to him, "Your pancreas is really upset with you. What have you done to it?" And the fact that it was giving off that energy, and she knew nothing about him, and it was already giving that off.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. That's it. I mean, yeah, the cells are always communicating with each other, and you know, and they're aware of what's going on. So they listen to the brain. I suppose Mantak Chia, he was a Taoist energy master, and he always said that all illness begins as a problem in the energy system, really. You know, so if you can tackle it at the energy level, then you can stop it from going any further. So, you know,
fascinating. And is there any limits in your view? I know, I work with the energy system as well. Would you have any limits on what you can fix with you can look to let somebody heal themselves with the energy system given the right tools, or is there any limits on it, or is the sky the limit?
The sky is the limit. And as you said there about the healing, like it is the person really, like we're the facilitators, like the practitioner is a facilitator, not the healer as such, you know, where the person, the client is the healer. Yeah. So like we just, what we do with energy healing really is getting the conditions right for the body to heal itself, which it has been doing for thousands of years. I mean, if we get a cut in our hand, we expect it to heal. We don't think that, we have to go to the doctor and get something, or get medicine to heal a little cut or something.
Yeah.
But on a bigger level, the body can heal itself of anything. We just expect cuts and wounds to heal, given a couple of days or something, or maybe if it's a deeper wound, a couple of weeks. But you do expect it to heal, and it's the same. And on every level, the body can heal itself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, the whole lot.
Yeah.
At a holistic level. Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's going back to that belief as well, isn't it? It's having that belief that it can, where you believe that your cut will heal, and then you can believe that anything's possible.
That's it.
Yeah. It all comes.
That's it, actually, because even Dr. Bruce Lipton. Dr. Bruce Lipton would he'd always said that about the placebo effect, that like some of the trials anyway, a person like might be told that you're getting a very powerful medicine or pill, but actually it can be a little placebo, a Smartie or something like that. But the fact that you have been told that it's a very powerful tool or medicine or whatever, that you can actually you actually can believe then yourself into health by. And so therefore, it's the body healing itself. It's the belief rather than the actual pill. Because if it's only a simple placebo, then it's the body that actually healed itself by having that belief. So we can always have that belief, and the body can heal itself of anything. So no, I wouldn't think there's any limit really. It really is just getting the person into that and allowing the body then to take over, and just to have it's just freeing up that innate ability to heal. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
and giving people, I always think it's empowering. It's giving people back their power. That's what one of the things that I enjoy so much, is being able to empower somebody else who's never stepped into this before.
Absolutely, yeah. They're just, I suppose the like when somebody gets a prognosis or whatever like that, and they're told, that they might have only so many weeks or months or whatever, the doctor is usually right, because it's a person who believes what they're told. And I suppose, like, if the person has their own belief system and say, well, I'm not listening to that, I'm going to, I'll heal myself, and it does happen. It does really.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I've seen that as well, with I was reading about a man who was told he had incurable cancer and he only had a couple of weeks to live, and that's it, you're going to die. And off he went, and he died in 2 weeks. And then when they did the autopsy on his body, he didn't have any cancer, nothing, and he died
Amazing.
anyway.
Yeah, because he believed, and then the cells, as I said, that they're communicating all the time, and of course, the way the brain then releases the neurohormones, kind of that, just telling the cells, oh, that's it, we're finished.
And they react and do what they're supposed to do. So it's fascinating how powerful that thought is. It's just fascinating. So
it is absolutely.
Which should we talk about some of the methods that you use then in your practice? When people come to see you, what can they expect?
Okay, well, I'm trained in lots of different therapies, but I suppose, and I would bring different techniques then from the different modalities to each one, without, I suppose, realizing it as you go along, and you pick up different techniques from different therapies. Mostly, I suppose, bioenergy and integrated energy therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So bioenergy is working on the energy field, and I suppose the body, you have the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual layers of the human energy field. So it's like, the egg shape around us, the aura. So those layers are there, and I suppose the body, we release then any stuck energy from within, that's going in and around the body, and release that energy through bioenergy therapy. So you're energizing in parts, putting in an energy and releasing then where the energy is stuck, and there's a build-up of energy. So that can cause pain, inflammation, stiffness, all those other things. And then integrated energy therapy would be on a cellular level. It's cellular healing. So it's getting deeper in to releasing imprints that have been left by some emotional incident that happened. And it's like funny that the emotional connection with that event gets stored. It just gets stuffed away. Like, we'll say fear gets stored in the kidneys, and anger in the liver, guilt in the top of the head area, all the cellular memory areas of the body. There's all little pockets where things are held, threat at the back of the neck, and all those. So with integrated energy therapy, and it's an angelic, there's an angelic connection. There's angels, connected with each area, and they help then to clear those imprints from the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual layers of the human energy field. And the cells, because the cells actually do hold on to the stuck energy. I suppose, like something like anger now, it's a very powerful emotion. And in order to keep that suppressed, it takes an awful lot of the life energy of the person's energy to keep that suppressed. So, because that's actually stored in the liver, so you're trying to keep it in there, and I suppose if it hasn't been dealt with, and if it gets stored in the liver, then it can actually cause a person to get depressed, because they're using so much of their energy to keep that down that they end up, with depression.
Yeah.
Because it's all like that energy just can't escape. So with IET, with integrated energy therapy, you release the stuck energy from all the different areas, and using the acupressure point. So it's a bit like, I suppose, acupressure, yeah, that the way that all the different areas.
Yeah,
Just
same as what I do with the EFT, with the tapping.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. The emotional freedom technique. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's it, really. I suppose, from the different areas, getting rid of the stuck emotions, and then letting the energy flow. And people find that they just feel lighter. That they once you get the energy moving, all the different areas, and then even recently, in the last couple of weeks, I've got a bioresonance machine which actually does it. It actually does the work for me almost.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's brilliant. It actually scans the person from a distance. Now it can be for thousands of miles away. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
It's just like we're talking on the phone,
Yeah.
So we're connected on a frequency that we have tuned in, obviously, to the frequency of each other's phones. And then, so the bioresonance machine works the same kind of way, that it will tune in with the person's energy field.
Yeah.
And just check. It kind of scans, then it does an analysis to see what frequencies need, recalibrating or whatever, and it goes to work then on those. It runs programs on the person, so.
Wow, that's fascinating. So you can do that through the screen. How does the person at the other end, how do they tune into it? Is there is it just by thought, by that they're thinking about what's happening on your end, and obviously the machine picks up on that? How does that work?
Absolutely, yeah, because the way that energy follows intent. So whatever, I suppose, that goes on for everyday life, really, like that. Whatever we're focusing on, it's what we get into our experience then. So the machine, anyway, I suppose it's got artificial intelligence, so it actually can connect with the energy field of the person, and they, that they immediately, sometimes they can feel, all right, they can feel the energy starting to flow, or they can be just resting, and they don't necessarily have to be on the screen all the time either, so you can do it without being on the screen, but if they want to, you can connect that way too. And it's very, very effective anyway so far. Great for sleep, very good. People find their sleep has improved a lot, and energy. And it really picks up on there's about 144,000 frequencies that it can connect with and tweak them, so yeah, it's definitely going to be, I think, the medicine of the future.
Yeah,
the medicine of the future, definitely.
Fascinating, isn't it? And then to think that it can work over distances like that, you don't even need to leave your own home to feel the benefit of something, and you're not even really doing anything yourself apart from just holding the intent of connecting with it.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I suppose, nowadays, especially for the so much else is happening online anyway, that healing is also. Yeah,
I think that's one thing, isn't it? People have had to investigate this further, especially, I know for myself, I learned Reiki, and that has to be done differently at the moment, and it puts you out of your comfort zone of how you work, and having to trust that, because it's there when somebody's in front of you, it's it's there, and you know what you're doing, and then to have to do it at a distance, it was a big leap of faith for a lot of practitioners to put themselves in that position to do it as well.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely it is. But I suppose people are realizing, once there are good results then from it, that they believe more, I suppose, once they start to feel better. So it was just kind of trialing it. I've just been trialing it anyway, just, using family and friends there as
Yeah.
guinea pigs there to see it working. And yeah, certainly good feedback so far anyway. Very good.
Wow. So with the machine, you would still work on the same problems. So say somebody had been carrying around guilt with them for years, can the machine help move that on through the body without them having to actually process the difficult emotions? Or is there still extra work that they need to do alongside it?
Not necessarily, no. Yeah, the machine seems to do the analysis, runs the program then that is suited towards clearing up that frequency.
Wow.
So it's like really tuning into the body, what it needs and what it needs to shift on, you know, what it doesn't need still there. I suppose, like with the energy, I suppose the way that if you could think of um like a barrel of marbles,
Yeah.
and you can shake them, a bucket of marbles, whatever, you can shake them. So it's like then if you put in tar, so that's going to be so sort of stuck
Yeah.
energy. But you can just extract that tar then without, you're not bothering the marbles really. They're still going to be able to and be able to move around much more freely.
Yeah.
So it's like getting rid of the stale energy that doesn't need to be around. So you're streamlining the
Yeah.
energy system.
So
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about things like, post-traumatic stress disorder and things like that, where usually to work through it, even using EFT, we try and be as non-invasive as possible, but it can be quite re-traumatizing for people to have to go through that. With something like your bioresonance machine, you could make things so much easier for these people to move through that.
Absolutely, absolutely. But even already with integrated energy therapy does that also. It's like as the motto with that is or the mantra is getting the issues out of the tissues, you
Yeah.
know. So it's healing without feeling. So really the fact that it's cellular and it's releasing the stuck emotions out of the cells, that it actually gets the person, without going through, as you said, going through the trauma.
Yeah.
It's actually very effective and a lovely gentle therapy also, to remove that, as they said, the issues out of the tissues, and then people don't have to know what they're, as somebody said, it's like going through the rubbish. You don't have to go through the rubbish every week to see
Yes.
what you're throwing. Just let it go. Let it go.
Yes, which is so much more gentle. It's just so much more gentle than some of the therapies that are recommended today that people go to straight off, where they have to relive their trauma over and over and over again, re-traumatizing themselves.
Yes, because I mean, everything that as we were saying, everything that you focus on, like energy, you're going to get more of that. So if you keep on repeating something that happened or whatever, it's not going to leave your energy system. It's going to be still there somewhere until it's actually finally removed, and as they say, healing without feeling. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But so the IET, to make that easier, the bioresonance machine will do it even
Yeah.
even quicker, and the person certainly won't realize. No, they must drink plenty of water, because it's, you'll be detoxing. So
Yes.
they could get very tired while the healing is going on. But that's the one thing, just once they flush out toxins that are being released, because it actually is like the stuck emotions are actually toxins in the cells. They're being held onto for years and years, like they
Yeah.
could be there. You find people who have something from the playground in childhood, like something that happened, and it just got stuck in the cells on that day, and it's been bothering them and at a subconscious level ever since.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know,
totally
and
agree. I see it all the time. Whenever somebody tells me they've got a problem, I always go, okay, let's go back to the very beginning, because that's often where the problem came from in the first place. And like you say, it just repeats as a life pattern over and over again for people, and people don't understand why the same thing happens to them continuously over and over and over again. This, and it just comes back in a different form, and until you deal with it, it's just going to keep coming back.
that's it.
The law of attraction,
Exactly,
isn't it?
because it has never left. law of attraction, yeah, it has never left the energy system of the person. So like they just can't push it out, you know, from the 4 feet out from them, out of their energy field, and get rid of it once and for all. So yeah, it is really that's the beauty really of those therapies then, especially as I said, IET, where you are able to really get it out of the tissues, and people find that it's such a release. Then they feel lighter, you know. So
Yeah, the new lease of life. But what about, I know we talked a lot about emotional pain. Does it work on
emotion,
physical pain?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very much, because I suppose really, like all, I think all pain, who was it that said that? It was a Mantak Chia said that all it is stuck energy. So it really is. It's just if it can't move on, it's like a build up. Then it's like a log jam, I suppose, on a river, where the river is flowing along, and then you know a tree falls in, and then there's other branches and twigs get stuck behind it. So therefore, it's like, you know, that keeps on, that the river then eventually is only trickling. So that's the life energy is only trickling along where all this stuff is stuck.
Yeah.
So, and that is causing pain really in the person, you know. It could be
Yeah.
the joint pain, whatever. So it does, it's actually quite quickly, physical pain can leave almost when the person is on the bed, you know, on the therapy table.
Yeah.
They can get relief a lot of times immediately, because it's just once you free up the stuck energy, then there's nothing else to cause the pain really.
Yeah. And
You
it's
know, I
gone.
suppose even arthritis is like uric acid stuck in the joints, you know. So it's the energy crystallizing in the joints, and you know, so if people can get that freed up and shifted along, you know, bring the circulation to that area, and you know, and the same with, you know, the elderly. I suppose you'll probably come across that too with the ulcers, like leg ulcers or whatever, because the circulation is not getting there. They're not able to do the exercises that they used to be able to do. So
Yeah.
the energy and the circulation is not getting down towards the feet, the ankles or whatever, and then the leg ulcer. So once you bring down the energy there and get the energy flowing, you know, it will start to heal up. You can see the area getting pink and getting, you know, getting healed. So yeah, it's amazing really.
Yeah. And do
It's
you
all just
do are any of these therapies are they hands on or are they hands off? Do you do all of your therapies online now? Are you able to do that, or do some of them require you to still be in the same vicinity as somebody?
you can do both really. Yeah, bioenergy can be done by distance, and integrated energy therapy, they can all be done by distance really, you know. But it's just, I suppose, getting the people to believe that, you know, like I know it can be done, you know, we know that it works by
Yeah.
distance, but people are, you know, they prefer to wait for the hands-on, you know. And yeah, because they just feel that, I suppose, that they have to be there in person, but that's not actually the case, you know. As you know, it can be done, again, energy, you know, energy travels anywhere, you know.
Yeah, which is just, it's such a big topic, and yeah, for people to understand that it's a big topic. And I always go back to Albert Einstein, as he said, everything is energy, everything in the world is energy. And I think sometimes it helps when you bring a big scientist like that, somebody rooted in science, into the equation, as it would be. It helps.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it does. Because then I suppose it gives us a more of an understanding of what is going on, you know. And it is really, I suppose, all, you know, even stress now, like, and powerlessness and all that, the way that that is, you know. And it would be very common nowadays, I suppose, because fear is so much in the in the realm at the moment of, you know, in the world at the moment.
Yes.
And if people can, you know, can get rid of that fear, shift it on out of their own system, and you know that it certainly, it's all very, very, you know, very healing. um and it is energy, it is really, it's just the pockets of energy again that come back to you, and that are stored there, whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, but it
It's,
mhm.
I just think it's crazy that this is here. It's all around us, and yet so few people see it or know about it until they're at the point where nothing else has worked. Usually, that's when I usually see people when they're at the point when nothing else has worked and they're willing to try absolutely anything. By that point is when and I guess it's probably the same for you, for most of the people you see.
Yeah, yeah, it can be when they said I've tried everything. This is the last straw, and it's usually, as I said, yeah, I suppose word of mouth then, that somebody says, oh, it worked for me or something, and which is a good thing really, because I suppose it's hard for people to take in something from just reading it on a website. They find it difficult to believe, that it can work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but certainly people then do find like that they use it then almost as coming for a massage, like they know that prevention then is better than the cure, So
Yeah.
to keep, as I was saying about Mantak Chia, the way he said that all illness begins at the energy level. So if you can nip it there, you can stop it from projecting onto the physical body.
Yeah, I agree, and I think, you know what, I think that it should be something that should be taught now to everybody, particularly when they're young, to understand this. And you could cut out so much of the the chronic pain and all these diseases that people have got later in life if it was taught to people from a young age.
Yeah.
But it's not. So, but I think more and more now, people like us are bringing it out into the auditorium for people to see and hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, actually there is an IET for children, and yeah, I teach that too, and they love it, and it does actually help them to release stuck emotions themselves,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite beneficial, really, like, so because yeah, I suppose that they, when people find the benefits of the energy healing, like the better sleep and all that, then, at least then they start to realize and start to believe it.
Yeah, I find children as well are a lot more receptive to it as well. They don't hold the blocks that an adult would. I know with my own daughter, she likes it. Sometimes when she's going to bed, she'll say, "Oh, mommy, do some Reiki on me," and she'll lie there and and she loves it. She doesn't have these blocks that we have as adults, because you can block energy. So you can go for energy treatment and you can be so firm in the fact that it's not going to work. You have your own blocks up to stop it, and children just don't seem to do that. They don't have that, and it just works. It's just amazing for them, and it's fascinating to watch them.
That's it. And the same with animals, the fact that they
Yes.
have no resistance to it. They're not saying, oh, how is this going to work? This is not going to work. And that's why, yeah, actually children, that it does work very well for babies,
Yeah.
because they don't have any belief system about it or anything, or they're not, resisting, as you said, resisting the healing, so.
Wow.
But,
So I guess you could even use it on babies that have just been born. Whereas, some babies, they go through a difficult birth, and a lot of people nowadays will take them to the chiropractor or the osteopath to be checked over. But we could also use these healing methods in that way.
oh yeah, absolutely. It works very well, very well. And I mean, it can be as little as 15 or 20 minutes, or even 10 or 15 minutes on a baby, and the sleep can improve drastically. Yeah.
Something most new mums
And it's
want.
not even, I know, and it's not even like, I've done it on babies now, like toddlers, and they're running around the room, and you're following them around the room and just clearing the stuck energy. And they don't even have to lie down, which is great, because they won't anyway, probably, for you. But yeah, you can just clear away the energy and just get the blockages out, whatever. And it can be, as you said, yeah, from a traumatic birth, and then that the fear or something is stopping them from sleeping. And
Yeah.
just it's amazing, really. Yeah,
Wow.
amazing. But I
No.
suppose it's a way. Marketing is the problem.
Yeah.
Getting people to actually,
Yeah. As always.
But I know it is. Sorry, yeah.
It's okay.
It is.
Go on, carry on.
It is more and more, coming out. it is more and more being, being sought after, I suppose. Really, people are, as you said, once they know that it's working. And
yeah, and it's getting people talking, isn't it, in mum groups and things like that, when, rather than having to go to, you've got one mum going to the doctor 5 times a week and getting a different medication for their baby that's really upset, and then you've got someone else who says, well, I just went and did this and you know what, it really worked. And it's that sort of talk that can have that effect on people.
Yeah, absolutely. More so, yeah, than if they look up online, they prefer to know from somebody who actually that it worked for her.
Yeah, definitely. It's the way we work on a social thing. But you know what? I love the fact of talking about children in that way and moving their energy in that way, because just this morning I was out walking the dog and I was thinking about how when we're born and we're like bright little shiny lights of balls of energy, and we're here with what we're here to do, and then it just sort of gets like stamped out of us as we go along, then all the different things. But I love that idea of right from the beginning being able to give these babies and children, like, give them their light back and don't take it away, and restore their energy so that they stay these little perfect balls of energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, clear away any of those blockages of the whatever was, whatever can get stuck there for later life, so if you can again nip it in the bud early and release it, so that they're flowing, their energy is flowing so much better, and they're attracting so much better then into their lives too as they grow up,
Yes, what a difference it could make to just a whole generation.
No, I know.
So before I let you go, is there anything that you could recommend to people going forward to try if they don't want to dive straight in with the therapy? Is there sort of one thing that somebody could take away from this today and try for themselves at home to play around with, and to give them an idea of how energy works, or how this sort of energy healing could work for them?
Absolutely. Well, the first thing that I find, and I just wanted to say that to you actually just probably, is about the phones. Definitely, I think leaving the phone not on the locker at night. I'm just that's a no, because that actually, it can drain a person's energy anyway, and it stops people from getting a proper night's sleep. So that's one thing that I forgot to say earlier that I wanted to say.
Yes, that's so important.
Yeah,
People don't realise. I always I turn mine into aeroplane mode, but sometimes I even wonder if even it being in aeroplane mode, if it's still, still giving off the signals.
Yeah, I would have. I'd say probably, but it's probably better than not having it fully turned on. But even I find when if people put it on the floor rather than up at head level, so that their brain waves are not being bombarded at night by these, the microwaves from the phone, because the brain wants to calm down. It's only going at about 8 hertz or whatever, whereas these are the waves are bombarding them absolutely. So that's the one thing that I think lots of people, young people now, would find that they say, oh my God, yeah, my sleep has really improved since I started leaving it outside the room, preferably, but if not, at the very least on the floor and not under the pillow.
No, I think that's where a lot of young people sleep with them now, isn't it? Because they fall asleep with it, or they listen to music on their headphones next to them when they fall asleep. And it's fast. And do you know what? Even in my bedroom, I turn off all of the electrics as well. So I turn off all the plug sockets as well, just to make sure, because I've seen, the electricity still gives off pulses as well. So even going as far as, I push it to pushing the electricity off as well, because it doesn't really make a difference anyway.
Well, yeah, absolutely, because the earthing is so important. Like, we're okay when we get a domestic appliance, we have to make sure it's earthed, and we're also electrical beings. We're electromagnetic beings, really. So we have electricity flowing through the body that, the electrical impulses are required for all the different mechanisms that go on. And so therefore, like, we need to be earthed also, but we forget about that. So we're like a battery suspended, I suppose, between heaven and earth, really, with the positive energy of the atmosphere, and then the negative energy in the earth. So we're missing out a lot. So that's one thing definitely that people could do. Now, I know the weather at the moment is not conducive to grounding or earthing, but I certainly would. I always tell people as much as possible go around barefoot, and during the summer, whatever, you can do as much as possible outside on the concrete, on the grass, sand, the water, and you're bringing up the free electrons then, which can reduce inflammation actually. And yeah, because we have too much of the positively charged ions from the atmosphere, you know, in our system. So we're kind of a bit, I suppose the energy system is a bit hyper going around, and that's why inflammation then can come in. But if you have the coolness coming up then from, we say, Mother Earth, so we have the Father in heaven and Mother Earth, so the positive and negative charge needs to be balanced. So we like the balance, like the battery that it's suspended in between. We should have balanced negative and positive charge in the body. So that's a fantastic way of getting the charge balanced, because the free electrons in the earth come up through the feet, and then they cool the body down, cool down inflammation. So it's wonderful. And of course, the other thing is drinking plenty of water, good quality water, then for those electrical impulses that are going on also, because water as the conductor of electricity. What else can people do? Exercise, of course, and to bring up the energy. Just bring up the energy, and even to do a little bit of bioenergy themselves, like rub the hands together, and then when you feel that, you know, the pull, you can actually do around an area that's that there's pain. You can do anti-clockwise. Yeah, you can pull it out of the system by using anti-clockwise movements and releasing that, you know, so people can heal themselves, you know, they can do it.
Yeah, wow, that's something that, sure, that's something I'm going to try. I've never tried that. My knees have been a bit sore today from doing a bit of yoga, so I might give that a go and see if I can move that around.
Absolutely, definitely. It does work, you know, it does, absolutely. Like people can, because you're actually just freeing up the stuck energy. That's what you're doing, really. So, and the you know, the magnetic pull of your hands, so the iron in your blood, that creates a magnetic pull, and then you're pulling out the actual the pain, the stuck energy or the pain.
It's fascinating, isn't it? I did this a while ago, and you can, once you've got it going, you can keep going, and you can make your ball bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can feel it. You can really feel the pull between them. It's amazing.
Yeah, so that's it. That's life energy or chi or whatever. It's you know, we don't I suppose know enough about it, or what, you know, at school and all that, we're not, as you said, taught enough about it. Yeah, definitely too. It's life energy, so we should know everything about it. But
I know, it's crazy, but yeah, we don't.
But we're getting there.
Yes, we are, and yeah, it's one of my, you know, I'm determined to spread this to as many people as possible, and for people to really be able to understand that they are actually quite powerful, and just by rubbing your hands together, you can see that power, and start to heal yourself and to play around with that. It's amazing and so empowering.
Absolutely, it really is. Yeah, so it's the energy, it's the medicine of the future. They say energy is the medicine of the future. So
brilliant. So if people want to find out more about you, Betty, where can they go?
Well, I have a website, healinglightenergy.ie. That's it.
Brilliant. And I will put the link to that as well in the description box below, so people can click through and they can come and have a look at everything that you offer and find out more about you.
Great. Thanks very much, Kerry.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate it. I've really enjoyed this chat. Energy is one of my favorite things to talk about. So
mine too.
Brilliant.
Mine too. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks
okay. Thank you very much then. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.